there right now. I find it interesting what's happening with CBS News right now that Bari Weiss has taken over that.
We'll talk
And
about that.
yeah,
I got
they're
things to say
covering
about
some
that.
stories that would normally not be on mainstream media, and I'm kind
And
of
they're
happy
not
about that
covering other stories that would that they should.
on
That's for
CBS.
sure. Yes, with
Ah,
Bari Weiss.
okay.
Bari Weiss is uh, Israel plant, basically. Okay, I am
Well, that's
going.
interesting. Let's
Yes,
talk
we'll
through
talk
that
about
because
it.
there's a lot of that going on.
hmm There's the U.S. oil tanker that was seized, and then there
Yes.
was some other breaking news yesterday afternoon. U.S. Sanctioned 6 more ships, meaning this wasn't an isolated incident. We'll get to that. I wanted to put in there because
There's
I
what?
don't want it forgotten. Still no Epstein files. And
Nope.
have a little bit of an update on that. I know this morning I heard Glenn Greenwald talking about it still, and
People are talking about it. It's just not
they
seeming to
won't let
go
it
anywhere.
die. They want it
No,
to die so bad, and
we
people
can't
won't
let
let
that
it.
happen.
No,
Yeah,
totally
we
agree.
just
That's
can't
why I
let it
put it
happen.
in there. This
One
was
last thing I have
good.
is it's almost Christmas time, and
Here's
this will
that.
probably be my last show before Christmas because I'm not going
Mm,
to be here next
right,
week. And
right.
it's interesting what's happening here. There is this thing that's happening in Europe right now, and in particularly in Germany, where they're canceling Christmas all over the place.
I didn't hear
They're
about that.
canceling Christmas festivals.
Why?
Christmas is a big deal in Germany. Why are they doing it?
hmm
It has everything to do with the Syrian refugees that are there right now that keep storming Christmas
Oh.
celebrations, causing violence to the point that they cannot secure these places anymore. And they were shut down.
That's the thing. We don't know how to talk about this world has been seized under the threat of being called a racist. We are losing our countries over the threat of being called a racist. And something that I've been kind of formulating in my head. How do we talk about it? And it's overcorrection. Maybe we'll just touch on it in a minute here. But it seems like everything since the internet has become about overcorrection. And one symptom you can see, we've seen this for years now, is virtue signaling. And
Hmm.
virtue signaling is like, it's not enough to be feminist. I guess this isn't going straight to virtue signaling, but it's not enough to be feminist. No, you have to hate men too and show your ways in which you do that. It's not enough to this works in every regard. It's not enough to say you're not racist. You actually have to go to BLM rallies and say ridiculous stuff. We saw that happening.
This is the truth.
In virtue signaling, dude, the one that's driving me crazy that I see all the time now is simply at the gym. Have you noticed, if you're in Planet Fitness too,
I am, yeah.
and you probably, like me, appreciate the fact that it's the cleanest gym I've ever belonged to.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And
It's super clean.
we are given, there are booths, kiosks where there are paper towels and sanitizer bottles everywhere. And we all wipe down our machines after use. It's largely theater because it's a little, it's a little overdone, but it's okay because I'd rather have it clean than dirty. I definitely would. But here's my point. Now it's gotten to the point, and this is like since coming out of the COVID extremes of 2021 and all that, is it like this for you where you are at? Especially over the last 2 years, people soak the freaking machine and leave it that way. Now I have to
I
wipe
hate
up their
that.
mess and then I wipe up after myself because they want to prove that they sanitized it.
Right, right. That's
And
that's what it is.
and this is what I mean about overcorrection. Now you're pushing your garbage onto me. Here's another one as a cyclist. I might have brought this up before. People are just, when I'm going down the street, I go trying to go past a little intersection. People are like, oh, go on, wave me by. And I've already slowed
You've
way
already
down,
stopped.
waiting for
Yeah,
them
yeah,
to go by. Now you want me to go in front of your car and the people that you pissed off next to you and all? No, I want to go in behind cars, not in front
Right.
of them. And so
Yes.
that's another, okay, now you're risking my life so that you can seem virtuous. This is overcorrection. We're doing it in every regard. When you say something anywhere, but especially on the internet, people are looking like you have to bulletproof what you're saying because their people are looking to overcorrect and put you into a racist field or a bigoted field of some sort or another. We've seen with Israel. Okay, now if you what is it? If you say Jewish lobby, the Jewish lobbies out there. Oh, now you've implicated all Jewish people. You got to be careful to say Israel lobby. Got to be careful to specify it's the government I disagree with, not all Jewish people. So overcorrection. Are you seeing this everywhere like I'm talking
It
about?
is the thing I believe that is the big disuniter, right? It just
Yeah.
seems like, it's anything you touch. It's almost like having the crazy girlfriend, right? Where you say, "Oh, you
Yeah.
look good today." "Oh, did I look bad yesterday?"
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
there you
Like you just
go.
gotta pick
Same
a
thing.
gnat out of the thing and then find that one thing to just disunite. But it's this is so interesting how racism has flared its ugly head again because you
The
know what,
threat of
Barry?
it. That's what
I
it
know.
is. It's the
Here,
threat.
Barry and I were roommates in college, okay? Like a black guy and a white guy living together. We didn't even think of it that
Never
way.
thought about it.
No, it's like that's what we grew up with. We didn't care. We didn't care. I didn't care. There were people that cared, but we thought they were, oh, that's ugly, right? Like they're
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
fringe,
yeah. Because we've talked about this many
the
times. Because we
fringe
grow
people,
up with programming like Good Times and
right?
All in the Family and the Jeffersons and all of these things that always had an anti-racist message, but they did it by illustrating a real world. They would all of a sudden get serious for a second and illustrate a real world example. We'd be like, "That's awful." If
Right,
I
right.
saw
But
people like that, I would hate them. And
right, that's how we were. We'd make
mhm.
fun of them,
Yeah,
actually. It's what we
yeah,
did. And I had a great time making fun of them or just,
yeah,
like
yeah.
smiling. Like if you, in the midst of one of those people, if you smiled and acted nice towards them, they would just melt down. And it was so fun to
Oh
watch. But
yeah.
now it's the mainstream thing. It's like what we talk about all the time, 24/7. We're
Uh-huh.
talking about it. And look how who benefits from that? And it's like,
Obviously, the Serbians in Germany. You did say Serbians, didn't you?
no, no, they're the
Syrians.
Syrians. The Syrians.
One
Remember,
letter
the
makes all the
Syrians,
difference.
the Syrians migrated up there during the civil war in Syria. So that was the excuse. So there's a civil war, and they all came over. Well, during a civil war, usually the men stay and fight for their country. But that's
Hmm.
not what happened. They all came over, and oh, we should have them over here. Now they're over there. Uh, Only 27% of them are employed.
Mm,
That's a big
mm,
problem, right? So
mm.
they have a lot of time to go to these Christmas places and destroy them because they don't have
Oh,
anything else
yeah,
going on,
yeah,
right? Oh,
yeah.
by the way, the Civil War is over. So that's another dilemma Germany has is maybe we should send them back because
Mm.
they were here as refugees. Now it's over, so they can go back to their country and rebuild it. But that's not a popular message anymore
Hmm.
either, right? So you're just a bigot if you say that. But meanwhile,
There we go.
Christmas is ruined. If you
That's
celebrate
awful.
Christmas, if you talk about Christmas, you could put yourself under attack. And by the way, because of politics, if you get attacked and then you complain about getting attacked, you are a bigot.
Hmm.
That's what
Oh, in
happens.
England, they're throwing people in jail for this and social media posts all the
Oh,
time. I've
crazy,
been
right?
listening to a lot of good podcasts with, like Tucker Carlson and people like
Yes.
that, bringing on guests talking about. See, like Great Britain is the canary in the coal mine for the U.S. They're going through exactly the same
Good,
stuff
good
ahead
way of
of
putting it.
us. And so we need to keep an eye on that. And they've given their country away.
You really have.
Yeah, through would you? But you would say legal immigration, I suppose, with them. Whereas our biggest problem had been illegal immigration. And I want to say I don't give Trump a lot of props, but I'll give him a lot of props for securing that border. and the efforts
Man.
that have been made against illegal immigration. But all that being said, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. Do you
Yeah,
want
we
to
are.
go over these top 10?
Yeah, let's do it. This is interesting to me because here I am in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. We
Yeah.
moved here almost 4 years ago. Can you believe that? It'll be four
Wow.
years ago in a couple of
God,
weeks.
it's hard to
I know.
believe. Yeah.
Crazy how time is flying by here. And is this how my forever home? I don't know.
Mhm.
It sure does get blazing hot here in the
Yeah, I know. I
summertime.
couldn't do that.
I don't know how much
Dude,
longer I
I
can do it.
started. Yeah. On the other hand, I got the opposite. Talk about overcorrection. I started winter here on Thanksgiving evening, and it's full-fledged winter
I mean, you
since
guys got
November 12th.
nailed.
It's so cold and icy out there. And when
What's
you
the
do one of
temperature right
those
now?
slips, I'm just guessing that's 28 degrees.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of.
So let's roll through this so we can
Okay,
get
all
moving.
right, all
So
right.
this is the top 10 great and actually affordable. I would put that in
Affordable,
quotes.
yes.
Yeah.
Quotes.
Relatively speaking, places to live after 50. Okay, now I'm going to tell you that I did this is the NPR, what is AARP article results, and then I did my own with Grok. I think you'll find the contrast to be very interesting. I'm going to try to go through the list quick because there's a lot,
right.
and I know Merle's going to interrupt me the whole way. So there's that. All right. So let me read the intro on this. Housing's gone nuts, but AARP dug through its livability index to find 10 towns with sub $1,500 average monthly housing and the stuff that matters after 50. Solid hospitals, light traffic, culture, parks, and part-time job options. Think value without giving up the vibe. So that sounds good. That sounds like a great criteria
does,
to me.
right?
Until we get
Yes.
to the first freaking option, Bloomington-Normal, Illinois. The Big Brain College Energy, Illinois State, and Illinois Weiseland. Never heard of that. Cheap eats and easy healthcare access. Dude, the first comment in that article, AARP doesn't have a lot of comments, but they get a few. And the first
Yeah.
one on that was like, it is unbelievably cold here. Nobody wants to move here.
I was about to say, like, I am not packing up my bags to go
Right.
anywhere in Illinois.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. Okay,
was-
second one's though better. Easton, PA. Walkable Rivertown, Farmers Market Royalty. That's nice. NYC / Philly, day trippable without their rents. Now, that's a good point, though. And also, I'll say about PA, when we drive through there going to the East Coast, going anywhere, you go on 90 East through PA, it's beautiful, man.
It is beautiful.
Rolling hills of all the
Yes, yes,
foliage.
green trees. Yeah,
In the fall. Whew,
yeah.
gorgeous.
Fall is the best over there.
Yeah,
Winter,
yeah.
of course, is I mean, you got that going on in that area of the country. You're gonna have to deal with it, right? And you've
Right.
been dealing with it all your life.
Right. Next one, Longwood, Florida. I don't, that's by
Longwood,
Orlando.
never even heard of it. Okay.
By Orlando,
all right.
I would never want to live anywhere near Orlando.
Me neither.
Kind of landlocked and
Yeah.
Old Florida
So
charm
touristy.
near Orlando and airports. Near airports is important.
That's important, right?
Near trails, lakes, and lakes with alligators, and pickleball for days. Not high on my list. Next one, not either. Montpelier, Vermont. No, I shouldn't say that because I freaking love Newport, Vermont. Like,
Yeah.
oh my
yeah.
God.
I've never been. I've never been up. Well, maybe
It
I
was
have,
my
actually.
first time a few months ago,
Okay.
a couple months
Yeah.
ago.
Huh.
Oh my God. I mean, just do like Google Images or Google Earth Vermont, Newport in particular. And
Right.
it is the entire, when you think of New England vibe, think Christmas time in New England, walking the sidewalks and stuff. That's it. It is gorgeous and it's very safe and all of that stuff. So
I always thought New England was kind of like high rent.
Oh, Newport is. Oh my God, it
okay.
is. And it's very interesting. So we started out in Maine and Maine and Vermont. I said to Lisa, here's my observation of the difference. It's the same kind of architecture. You're looking at the houses, you know, that New England vibe architecture.
Right.
And
Everyone
the Cape
loves that.
Cod style. But in Maine, the boards all look a little wonky. In Vermont, everything is buttoned up like it was made in a computer.
Huh.
Yeah, so Maine almost has a very blue collar vibe to it, real down to
Ah,
earth,
gotcha. Yeah.
and never saw anything but a white person there.
No.
Not kidding. In
Black
Maine,
people
not
don't
kidding.
go there.
Nobody, no, I
Yeah,
just white
no
people.
people of color.
And
Right.
in Vermont, there was some because of the kind of Ivy League college vibe. There were some,
Ah, right, right, right.
but boy, they're buttoned up, man, and they're preppy, and so everybody fits into the culture, right? Oh
Interesting.
yeah, yeah, and so that, like I said about the architectural vibe and everything, everything's really pristine, but they must have zoning stuff out the
Right.
wazoo. Like your
Yeah.
house isn't going to have two chips of paint on it. Maybe one, but
I
not
mean,
two.
there's something to be said about the zoning laws because in
Safety
areas where they don't have the
keeps
zoning
the
laws,
riffraff out.
yeah, exactly. They can put
Mhm.
like a homeless shelter right next
Yeah,
to your
yeah.
house. And
Oh, yeah.
that was
Oh,
happening in Los Angeles where they'd put these safe houses in your neighborhood. And they were, I
oh,
mean,
God. Yeah,
got to
yeah.
have these places, but they're
Right.
places where, ex criminals
Mhm.
would go to for rehabilitation. And it's like, well, do you want your kids growing up next to that?
Yeah, of course. And that's again with the overcorrection. We want to be nice. So, how nice are you? Oh, don't prosecute criminals, empty the jails, defund the police. That's
Right,
how
right.
insane the society got with
It really
overcorrection.
is. You're right.
So you do something like you see the California experiment or my neighborhood, and but then you see that versus Vermont, a Newport,
Mm.
and oh, why is everybody leaving California, the most beautiful place in the United States? Because they want safety,
Well, safety and the cost of living is
of course,
absolutely out of control.
of
Nobody can
course.
afford to live there anymore. Everybody's eating ramen noodles, not the good kind either, the kind out of
Yeah,
the dried up thing.
get
Yeah,
you really
it's
fat really
crazy.
quick.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one. You're gonna love this one too. Richfield, Minnesota. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going there.
Next
That's
to
15
Minneapolis.
below.
Yeah, and
Oh, next
yeah,
to Minneapolis. Great.
yeah,
Hello,
right.
Tim Walls.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. We just talked about that last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Okay, next to Minneapolis without the premium. Minneapolis, man, used to be
Surprised.
heralded as a little bit of a Nordic utopia.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's where Minnesota Nice comes
Uh
from.
huh.
Mary Tyler
Right.
Moore show was based
Oh, I didn't.
out of Minneapolis, and
Oh,
yeah, it's not the same place it used to be for
not
sure.
at all. They gave
And
it
I don't
away.
know. It's
They
just
gave
like
it away
why
out of the
move
threat
there
of
into
being a
that kind
bigot.
of political situation? This is a very interesting list you got there, Barry.
Oh, the
I don't
next
know.
one.
So far, none of these places are appealing to
How about this
me.
one? Savannah, Georgia.
Okay, maybe.
I knew you would do an
Yeah.
about face on
Tell
that
me
one.
about that one.
Yeah, dude. So we went there about a year ago, and I'm trying to think of what time of year. Was it almost fall? It was a
I
perfect.
think
It
it
was
was.
June.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
early
was it?
June,
Okay.
and so it was a perfect time of year. We went to Charleston first, then to
Mm.
Savannah. Oh my God, we love it. We love both. Highly recommend
I
going
was
to
going to ask about
Charleston
Charleston.
first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Charleston's so charming, and
Is it?
Savannah is just like it's that and a lot more. There's so much more there. Whatever. Go to Charleston first because
Go to Charleston
Savannah is
first.
so
Okay.
rich in its culture and environment. And it's so cool. Now, I will say we're down there on this beautiful, beautiful boardwalk and talking to a couple, older couple that had a few drinks in them by this point. And the
Uh-huh.
guy lived there forever. They lived there. They kind of were making up this fantasy relationship between them. It got a little weird. They were drinking. But he did also say, like, July and August, you don't want to be anywhere near
Humid.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, between the humidity and the heat, he's like, you don't want to be anywhere near here. You got to be indoors
Right.
the whole time. So,
I've
there
heard
is
that.
that.
I've heard
And,
that.
and it's like, so, can you put up with 2 months of that? Because it's a cool place, man.
2 months does it. It's not that
Say weird.
long, but I
It's
mean,
not.
it is during the sweet part of the summer. Let me just say this, like here in Phoenix, Of course, the summertime is sort of like the wintertime. You don't want to go out there for too
Sure.
long because it actually could be dangerous. Um, but you have this long winter period where the temperatures are ideal. The problem is that it gets dark at 5 o'clock, like
When you want to
5:15. It's
enjoy the
dark.
weather the
Yeah,
most. That's
exactly.
an
It's like you
interesting
get off,
point.
you get off of work, and it's like, oh, it's dark, and then it's time to go to bed. It
Dude,
kind
I
of feels
never
like
thought
that,
of
right?
that. That's
And
not
it's
a good
like you have
trade-off.
all of this great weather, but man, the days my parents are here visiting, and they're like, man, the days go by so quickly here because I mean, okay, what is it? It's
Just started having
7:25. The
fun.
sun is just coming out right now. And it's going to be dark at 5. So it gives the perception that the days just are lightning fast. They just fly by. The thing that I loved about living in Cleveland was that in the peak of the summertime, I remember I could still see light in the
Oh
sky at
yeah.
like 9:45 at
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
And it was just like these long summers that we
Oh God,
had
it
were
was the
like
best.
the
Yeah.
best. And
Yeah.
I go back to my childhood and I just think about the endless summers that we had, those
Yeah.
3 months that we had off.
Yeah.
It was endless. And it's while I don't have to shovel snow, and I love that, by the way, or scrape my windows or
Mhm.
worry about sliding down the freeway into oncoming traffic, those are great things. But at the same time, I am missing this one aspect. And I guess I'm trying to find the perfect place, but I don't know
Well, that's
if
why
it
we liked
exists.
Asheville, North Carolina so much. Had it all. You
I
know?
mean, you know,
Balance.
when I first moved to Los Angeles, I thought I was in a paradise.
Sure.
It was like the beach, you got the mountains, you got like
Hmm.
all these different things going on. Nothing ever closes, but it was all like an illusion,
Yeah,
really. It was
yeah,
a
it is.
facade.
Hmm.
So where is this place I'm looking
Yeah.
for?
Well, that's
So
what
far,
everybody we got more to talk about there.
those two places, Savannah and Charleston, so far,
Yeah.
they seem interesting to
I
me.
put Charleston on the list verbally. It's not on this one.
But I do like the Charleston.
Yeah,
We were
yeah,
talking about
man.
it over the weekend. Just
Charleston's
coincidentally, we were
great.
saying my stepfather was talking about he lived there for 10 years. He
Oh,
talked
how
about how
nice.
wonderful it
I'll
was
say one
and the
thing
history too. It's
about
cool.
both of them, but probably mostly Charleston. I said to Lisa, you should have to surrender your car upon entering city limits and get issued a golf cart because it's so hard to
Everyone's
get
got golf
around
carts.
there. Yeah. And if everybody had golf carts, it'd be ideal. I mean,
Ah,
everybody get
it
around a
is.
lot faster.
It's hard to get around. Like, what do you mean? Like how what? Like,
Traffic. It's
there's so much
there's
traffic,
so
huh?
much traffic. It's so
In both of those
congested.
places?
Well, I'd
I'm
say even
surprised
it
to hear
seemed to me
that.
more so Charleston. Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
Huh.
not kidding. If everybody had golf carts, everybody would get around a lot faster. Because it's
That's
not like things are that far away from each
right,
other.
right.
But when you
Interesting.
get almost can walk faster. Let's
I'm
finish
glad you
this
said
one.
that because that's an important factor in
It
any
really
place you're
is.
considering.
It really
Traffic.
is.
It's huge.
It's
Yeah,
almost
oh,
like,
let me just say,
go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, if they
Uh,
would put a dedicated bike slash golf cart lane in there
yeah.
everywhere, it would help.
But this is the one positive. I mean, the one. There's a lot of positives here in my area, the country, but traffic is the big deal, man. Like if you want to go someplace and it's 60 miles away, it's going to take you an hour to get there. Because you can
Oh,
basically go average 60 miles per hour.
wow.
Because people, like if it's 45 here, people are going 60. So easy. They're going
Yeah, yeah,
60, and
yeah.
there's hardly any traffic, and
That's
it's not
nice.
heavy with police going after you.
That's so nice. I mean, I
And
got
yeah,
to tell
that's a
you,
very positive thing here.
that is a big positive. All right, we got three more here on this list. Then we got a better list with Grok, I think. Sheridan, Wyoming. Mountain views. I had relatives in Wyoming. We used to drive out there in the summer. So
Oh,
3 day drive,
that
man.
sounds
Take us
wild.
3 days.
Wow.
Mountain views, Western culture, low taxes. Low taxes is always nice. Surprisingly
Yeah.
strong medical for a small city.
That's huge.
I
That's
wouldn't
huge.
want to live in Wyoming. You know,
Yeah,
it's kind of
what do
like
you do out there?
Montana's not on this list, but after watching Yellowstone a few years ago, Yellowstone had this great period. The first 3 seasons is
Right.
what I watched, and it was all set in Montana. And half the
beautiful.
charm of it, dude, was the beautiful photography that they did on every intro and
Absolutely.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, it's gorgeous. I bet you, and I haven't looked, I bet you their population is increased considerably due to that.
Because of that show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
But it's
bet you're right about
very
that.
rural, very, very undeveloped. I
Oh, it
mean,
really is. I've driven through parts of it. I had an account out there, Coot and I, and had to drive over the from Spokane, Washington into Montana, and it was just beautiful. I
yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
believe how pretty it was over there.
That's nice. It's nice to know there are some last bastions.
Yeah, you're right.
Next one. Tell me that you don't have an opinion on this one. Tucson, Arizona.
Well, Tucson is an interesting town. I have not spent a lot of time down there. I just
Oh,
went
okay.
down there on an appointment recently. Surprised how easy it was to get in between. It was like lightning, 80 miles per hour in between the two cities. That's kind of cool.
That's very cool.
And the town seems to be kind of like old town, like old West town
Like
kind of thing. It's not,
that.
it's kind of a
Like that.
smaller town. It is on the border, so they've had their issues with the over the last several years with border crossing and everything. Of course, that's pretty much shut down now. But I
For
think
now.
they're still having a problem with some of the crime aspects of that whole thing. But I gotta say, it's surrounded by mountains. It's a pretty beautiful place, but of course, they get the supersonic heat in the
Uh-huh. And
it's
this
pretty
is the
serious.
brief description they gave. Desert sunsets. What is UNESCO? Food city.
Uh,
UNESCO?
I don't know what that is, to
Okay,
be
I don't know.
honest.
UNESCO food city, major hospital systems. Dude, that's really important. I often forget about how good we have it here with our hospital systems here in
I mean, you
Cleveland.
have it really good in Cleveland, I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
say.
And
With
winter,
the
finally, winter that treats your joints kindly. The way they put that, I got to tell you, this cold winter stuff is really getting to my joints now
Is that right?
in the
Yeah,
last year or
boy.
two. Hmm.
Yeah. So winter is fantastic down here. I gotta say that couldn't be better weather. This is, of course, the thing about the sun going down, but if you could deal with that, you could deal with
Yeah.
anything. And when you compare it to the things you're dealing with now in Cleveland, there's no
Yeah.
comparison.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no
I
comparison.
remember mentioning last year that my shoulders were really bothering me last winter. It was incredibly cold last winter. And when we went to Florida, I remember saying this. I felt walking off the plane, I think I mentioned, walking off the plane, my shoulders felt better already.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, dude,
That's
when you get
something.
into that very warm, like everywhere warm, not a draft kind of stuff. Warm everywhere with a little bit of humidity. It's like instant lubrication, man.
Ah, wow. Hmm.
Last one. Winterset, Idaho. Or is that Indiana? IA. Indiana, right? Yeah.
Iowa.
Iowa.
It's
God, I'm
Iowa,
dumb.
yeah.
Uh,
No.
the description is Bridges of Madison County, low
Oh,
stress, true
oh,
Main Street community. That sounds great.
oh.
Ultra manageable cost. So Iowa, what would Winterset, Iowa be like?
I don't know, but it's interesting. So many people here in Phoenix are from Iowa. My best
Really?
friends down here, Mike and Amy, are from Iowa, and it seems like everywhere we go, they're running into other people they know from Iowa.
Wow.
Iowa is an interesting state. My stepfather, Larry, lived his father's from Iowa, and so he's got family there. And when Mike and Amy met Larry, my stepfather, they talked for 3 minutes, and they already identified several families that they knew in common.
Oh
And
my
it's like that
God.
there. Everybody seems
Yeah.
to know everybody there, and everybody is so nice.
Oh, I love
That is
that.
a pretty cool
Midwest
thing.
nice, man. That's
Yes.
a reality, and I like that. You know what? Maine was like that.
Mm.
Maine felt literally like Painesville, Ohio to me, where my family lives. We were just a few months ago in late summer going to a wedding reception that was outside in a backyard in Thompson, Ohio, which is way on the east side, very
Right.
rural. And so we had to take from my
Pretty.
brother's place in almost Leroy, Ohio, State Route 86 through all these back roads, hilly and all this. And you're just looking like
It's beautiful back there.
it is. And it's like all farm country and
Right.
all super safe. But it literally looked exactly like Maine to me. Just
How
put
about
a
that?
giant body of water on the one side of you way over there.
Right.
It
Right.
really did. And I said this to Lisa many times. I felt like every place we went, my brother could come walking around the corner at any minute. It just felt like that same thing where he's always all over Painesville in that same kind of setting. And I don't know. So that's enough about that.
Well,
That
it's these rural settings like that that tend to lend to this
safe.
neighborly kind of effect where
That's what I meant.
people, if you
Everyone
see
was so
somebody,
nice.
they're not like, oh, there's some people. They're more like, hey, how you doing? You know, and
Absolutely.
also there's this camaraderie like, hey, we're out here. If you need any help, come and see
Yeah,
me,
for
okay?
sure.
Right? You don't have that in the city because it's more like, hey, here comes somebody that could be a threat, right?
Yeah, you
Like
know
there's a
what?
whole different thing going on there.
We had an Airbnb that was not in a. It was in a rural area, but on a off of a main busy road.
Right, right.
And Lisa had a package that was to be delivered, and we were talking to some people about would somebody steal it, and they laughed at us. I mean, you can, and we got this story about somebody in a convertible leaving their wallet in their car, and all this stuff. I mean,
Right,
you just couldn't
right.
even imagine if you live where I live. Okay, let's talk about the Grok
Cool
version.
thing. Yeah.
Top 10 cities people to live over 55 with moderate income, for safety and moderate climate and cost of living. So
Wait, can I ask you a
yeah, yeah.
question? Was moderate climate in that last query that you did? Because
I
I
don't
was
think
like,
so. No,
okay,
I don't
right.
think
Because
so.
I was gonna say I would throw that. I would definitely throw that into my
Uh-huh.
ideal thing. So yeah, go
Sure,
ahead.
sure.
Moderate climate.
Okay. So this is a priority available on moderate incomes. Example, cost of living index under 100 where possible. Medium home prices are 250 to 400,000 because that's medium low prices today.
Isn't that crazy, right?
Yeah. Low crime rates for safety. That's all I think about as I get older, to tell you the
Have to,
truth,
right?
especially where I live.
That's why we left LA. Yep.
Yeah. Mild to moderate climates, minimal extremes like warm winters without intense heat, humidity, or harsh cold, and overall value. Florida and Southwest dominate due to their tax advantages. And sunny but temperate weather and retiree-friendly amenities. Cities were selected for balance, including excluding very high cost or extreme climate spots. Number one, Orlando again. I don't want to be.
Orlando again.
Yeah, the other
Interesting.
time in the other one, it was a
It
city
was like
outside.
down the
Yeah.
list a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a city outside. Okay, I'm going to read like the next four because
Okay,
it's
go.
Orlando, Tampa, Sarasota, Naples,
All in the
Florida.
same area. Okay,
And
have you been to Tampa? I kind of like
yes,
Tampa.
well, we've sworn to never go back simply because of their airport. I
Oh,
mean,
the
on the
airport.
couple of occasions where we've flown in there to get to Sarasota, because we go to Sarasota every year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's a city in it of itself. That airport. It
Oh,
is.
really? I
Oh my God, it's
forgot
gigantic.
about that. Yeah.
And it's unwieldy. So for that reason, I've also heard other
Airports
people
are so important.
that have lived there say it's boring. It's the flattest, most boring area ever. But I don't have that. I don't know. I've never
Yeah,
hung
I've
out
only
there.
spent like recently I had a business trip out there, and I'd say recently, it was like in the last 8 years. Uh, and I ran into some retirees at dinner time, and I had the best time with them. Maybe that's what I'm conflating this with. It's just, it was cool
Oh,
because it was just like it was a bunch of guys that were hanging out, and they said, that they go to a different restaurant every night because there's a special at these different restaurants, and it seemed like a Seinfeld crew right there.
oh, that
And I was
sounds
just
fun.
laughing and having a good time with them, and I thought, oh, maybe this would be a good place to retire.
Well,
Anyhow,
you know what? I can say one commonality that I see between Tampa, Sarasota, and Naples that are on here is they are all on the West Coast, the Gulf side.
Interesting. Right.
And
Right.
yeah, dude. So when we go to Sarasota, we are right across the bridge from Siesta Key, where
Right.
we love. I mean,
Yes.
it's sometimes voted the nicest beach in America, and if
I've
it's
heard
not,
that.
it's in the top three.
Probably from you.
It's gorgeous. And then there's the Siesta Key Village, which is so much fun. But it's beautiful because of the white sandy beaches and all that more
Yes.
Caribbean feel
Yeah.
versus a Fort Lauderdale side. The Atlantic is always like to me, a giant Lake Erie. Um, looks the same.
It is a way different in the on the Gulf side. I mean, it
Uh-huh.
really is. And the
Uh-huh.
water too is warmer on the Gulf
I
side,
guess I only go
That's
ankle
what I
deep, but
heard.
we go in the first week of March, and
Ah,
it's
so it's going to be cold
cold.
no matter
Yeah,
what.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But so we love Sarasota, and as I said, it's on here too. It says cost index is around 98, no income tax, among the safest U.S. metros for seniors, temperate Gulf Coast climate, and top ranked healthcare and cultural amenities. I
Huh.
almost don't want to. I just want to take it. Don't tell anybody else because it has been getting built up, and with
Hugely.
that, it
Yeah.
loses its charm. You know.
For me too, it's like, isn't everybody from New York migrating down there? I
Yes.
mean,
Oh,
like, and why?
yes.
And now we're gonna have to be with all those. I mean, you New York people are so lovely, but sometimes I gotta tell you.
Yeah, yeah. Florida people, we have a lot of great conversations. We always meet strangers every year we go, and
I like it.
have met some lifelong friends down there for as well. But the weirdest news comes out of Florida. People that have been born and raised there are usually in more inland areas, and it gets a little weird. After that, dude, is Scottsdale, Arizona.
Scottsdale. Okay, now
Hmm.
Scottsdale's a pretty interesting
Been
town
there.
here.
It's nice.
And people love it. It's we call it Little LA because there's something
Wow.
about it. It does kind of remind you of Los Angeles. It's the one area of this town that has traffic like LA. And so that's a sort of a downer, but oh, great restaurants, great
Hmm.
shops, Old Town Scottsdale. It's really cool. Everybody likes it. You got high-end shopping, you got resorts there. There's just a short trip into the mountains. There's some beautiful lakes. They're really reservoirs out here. They're beautiful. It is a
Yeah,
beautiful
it
area.
is.
I agree.
It's
We looked
still.
at Scottsdale when we moved here, when we were thinking about moving here. It's one of the more expensive towns in the Phoenix area, so that's one thing to consider as well. And if you live in one of the surrounding towns, hey, you can get to Scottsdale pretty quickly.
Mm,
Like I said, the traffic situation here is pretty cool. So like you can get to Scottsdale quickly. Just once you get there, it's going to be gummed up a little bit, but it's still very workable. It's like LA a little bit, but not LA.
oh, that's a good take on it. Having been there for a few days, I could say it's another Arizona destination where the whole priority is to stay out of the sun. Umbrellas
Or
everywhere.
or play golf. These
Oh, yeah.
there's a big golf town
I bet it
as
is.
well. So there's some pretty big and people this time of year, people love to play golf. I live on a golf course, and in the summertime, when it's blazing hot, 115 or whatever, they're still out there. It's
Wow, wow, wow.
crazy, man.
Yeah, I think these people get a little used to it.
You
Next
get
one,
immune to
dude,
it. That's right.
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay, interesting.
Low cost index for sure, moderate taxes, exemptions of retirement income, safer than average. Dude, all I think about when I think of Albuquerque is Breaking Bad.
I knew you were going to say that. That's all I was thinking about too.
It just looked like dingy strip malls and desert. And
Okay, so I
everyone's
was
methed out.
I was there recently, and I was right downtown, and I was getting an Uber ride to my hotel, and I said, "Hey, this is actually it's a pretty cool looking downtown area,"
Stop it.
and I was saying, "Hey, is there like a restaurant around here I could walk to?" And the guy says, "Yeah, yeah, there's several of them, but just don't try to walk there at night." And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, there's the crime situation here. And then since COVID, apparently, it got even more
Oh
dangerous in the
God.
downtown area. And so I didn't walk anywhere. I just stayed in my hotel restaurant. And the when I left, I was getting another Uber ride, and I was saying, well, what's it like here? What do you do uh, for fun over here? And the guy says, well, I moved here from New York City, and I can tell you that after I went up to the top of that mountain over there, they told me that'd be fun to do. There was nothing else to do, and I'm terribly bored. And then he
Yeah,
says,
yeah.
so what is it like here? Have you ever seen that series Breaking Bad? And I was like, I personally haven't watched it, but isn't that like all kinds of people on meth and selling meth? He goes,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just like that here. Like, oh, and that's when he dropped me
Dude,
off at the
yeah, it's
airport. And I'm like,
fun to
oh,
watch on TV. I don't want any part of it.
oh my gosh, my aunt, my uncle lived there, and they're no longer there, but they seem to love it there. So I guess you got two sides of the
Okay.
coin.
Yeah, yeah. The next one you're going to find very interesting, and I do. San Antonio, Texas. Very affordable.
I loved it down there.
Index about 90, and medium home to 280K. That's considerably cheaper than these others. No state income tax. Texas has got a lot of positives. Improving safety in retiree enclaves. Mild semi-tropical. Winters are 50 to 70 degrees
Yeah,
Fahrenheit.
winters are nice there.
Yeah, vibrant
Summer is
culture
pretty hot.
and low-cost senior programs. Oh, I'm sure summers are scorching there because you also have
It's
humidity.
it's a little bit like I remember like 105 being kind of pretty
Uh,
normal during
uh,
the
uh,
summertime, not 115 or 120 like here, but still, pretty hot.
it's hot.
Uh but one of the things, gosh, the food down there is
Oh,
to die for. Are
yes.
you kidding me?
I could move there for the food, dude.
Just the food alone is
Yeah,
great, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
do like the culture down there and everything. There's a heavy Mexican culture and a heavy German culture down there as well, which
Interesting.
is was surprising to me. Yeah, you have Mexicans with last name Schmidt
Mhm.
down there, which is kind of like the intermarriage that's happening. It's
Oh, okay,
really
that's
cool. Like a
funny.
Schmidt that's a
Yeah,
Mexican.
yeah.
Yeah, so and then the fusion of food there between the cultures
That
is
sounds so good.
really, really good. And if you like frozen margaritas, they make the best ones down there, and
Ah,
they're different from any place else, and they are also more potent. So you don't want to fall in that river down in the river walk.
ah,
Be careful.
well,
But
I
yeah,
remember
love it
this.
down there.
When you lived there, you loved it. And,
I did.
I'd be talking to you, you definitely expressed that. However, then you got transferred to Austin.
I
And
did.
you literally said to me, dude, I really thought I loved San Antonio, but Austin's way cooler.
It was at the time. It was a really, really cool town, and there was an exciting feeling when you would drive up there. The town is beautiful, actually, and it's on
Hmm.
this. The Austin River is beautiful,
Hmm.
and there's like rowing and everything. It's the capital of Texas, so and it's like
A liberal
just
haven.
it's a music town. Like if you're into music, that's a great town to be. It was always a liberal place, but
Hmm.
now it's over the top. Like it's
Yeah.
leftist. It's
Mm.
left. It's not liberal. I could deal with liberal, but this is very leftist now. I
Yeah.
would never move there now. One interesting thing I remember was the homeless situation there, which has expanded
Yes.
dramatically. But
Yes.
while I was there,
Puppy.
the homeless people were the most. They're usually young college age kids that are well dressed and nice shoes on and khaki pants, asking you for money, and it's like, what?
Wow. Wow.
But they were homeless. It's just like a very interesting situation. Now it's out of control. The whole place is out of control. And the cost of living is always higher in Austin than
Oh,
San Antonio.
sure.
But now I hear that it's sort of out of reach now.
Yeah, Rogan went there and just it was like the most gigantic ad campaign for Austin ever, and everybody moved there. We went there a few years ago, and we absolutely loved it, but we surmised that we couldn't do the summers there.
Yeah, summer
Mhm.
can be pretty tough there. There are some pretty cool things that happen. There's the bridge on Congress Street. It leads right to the Capitol. There's a famous bridge there where it's the largest brown bat population in North
Oh, it's kind
America
of
that lives
famous
under
for
there.
that, right?
Yeah, and people go to the bridge to
Hmm.
watch the bats come out at night, and they just stream right out of there like crazy. And one time Scott, my brother Scott, was visiting, and Anne Marie and I took him over there, and we decided to go down under, like right under the bridge, or just where they were coming out over us. And that's when we realized that bats were peeing on us, and we had to run back up to the top.
Oh, oh
So
God.
don't do that if you go down there. Watch it from above the bridge.
Next one. We're back to that IA state. Is that Iowa?
Yes.
Des Moines. Des Moines.
Des Moines.
Des Moines. Oh, Des
Yes, it's a
Moines.
French word. Yep.
I know Des Moines.
Yeah, yeah.
God, see, I could be really slow in the morning. Lowest cost, moderate property taxes, very low crime rate, four season of moderate climate, and summers are 70 to 85 degrees. Mild winters with snow. This sounds great.
We might be missing out on this whole
Yeah,
Iowa thing. I'm
time.
gonna have to get with Mike and Amy and find out why they
Yes,
left.
top Midwestern healthcare and walkability. You're right.
What? Wow.
Here's another
Iowa.
one, dude. The next one, 9 out of 10, that I find very interesting. Madison, Wisconsin.
Hmm.
I had some neighbors. My neighbor just graduated as an ophthalmologist and was doing his residency in Madison. They moved there, and he was from the area, so they moved out of Cleveland and to Madison, which caused me to. I'm like, Madison? So I started doing research. I'm like, God, dude, just Google images on
People
Madison.
love it there. Yes, I've been out
Very
there
cool.
before, driven out there from Milwaukee, actually. It's quite a drive and beautiful. The state of Wisconsin is beautiful in the summertime. I haven't driven through in the wintertime, but absolutely
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's
The
rough in the winter.
town is beautiful. It's
Madison
quaint.
is
It's a college town.
situated where it has mild winters. I wanted to make sure I said that.
College town. That's really the big deal in
Mm.
Madison. It's the University of Wisconsin, and uh, yeah, I thought it was it's rural all around it too. I mean, it's right in the middle of the state.
Yeah, I think that's worth checking out. Last one. I've heard a bit about this more on the download. Boise, Idaho. Yeah, my buddy Dan, the fireman, went there on a jaunt. It was one of his stops, and he sent me pictures regularly. Put a few days in there, and said it is fantastic. I read the description: affordable, low income, low taxes, safer than 70% of U.S. cities. Dry, moderate climate, 40 to 85 degrees in there. Great. Four
Okay,
seasons
yeah,
without extremes. Love that.
that sounds
Outdoor
good.
recreation and good air quality.
Boise.
Hmm.
That was never on any
Again,
thought at all.
look up the pictures on it. It's gorgeous.
Really?
Surrounded by
Wow.
mountains and stuff. Yeah, it's
Love
gorgeous.
that. That is
Maybe I'll
cool.
overlay some pictures on this thing if
Yeah,
I take the time.
Boise.
So that's
That's
the
cool,
end of
Barry.
that.
I
There were some
like
cool
that.
ones there.
Well,
Hmm.
I think it's the cool thing about living in this country is that every state
Yeah.
has something unique to offer. And, it's unlike other countries where every state is sort of like a country of its own. It's got its own laws, its own culture. It's cool that we have this opportunity if we have means, especially as we're coming into our 50s, 60s retirement. Hey, you have a choice. You can pick up and move to one of these states and get involved. Then you become a citizen of that state.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of interesting. I was just realizing this, Barry, that I was doing some reading on that you're not a citizen of the United States.
Hmm.
Like that's not
You
possible for you.
mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you're actually a citizen of the state and everything that that state represents. And being from Ohio, I'm partial because that's in my blood. And anytime I see something Ohio, I'm rooting for it. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want to move there again, but it's like the motto is the heart of it all, right?
Right.
And I feel that that's never going to leave. Uh,
Yeah,
I
totally.
always I want Cleveland teams to win, even though I know they're not.
Uh,
So so I try not to get my hopes. But anyway,
all right. We are winding down a bit. Let's just touch on
I
a
wanted to
few of
ask
these
you
things.
something
Hmm.
before we touch on some things. This is a personal side question because I noticed something different about this time of the year. Actually, the last few months, you've not once mentioned the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, I don't pay attention to them
Not
much.
once. You're done. You're
I do
free.
watch, but I don't
Yes.
care. Like what I miss, I miss. I don't care. It just doesn't. It doesn't bother me. And to
Yes.
watch if they win, I mean, it doesn't matter if they win. They're never going to go anywhere. And if they lose,
Okay.
I it doesn't ruin my Monday or anything.
Do
So I'm
they
free.
suck this year? I haven't
Oh
been paying
yeah. Oh
attention.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too
All
bad.
right. I just want to bring this up because it's big in the news. I don't think you want to talk about it much, but the U.S. oil tanker seizure controversy. So things are escalating in Venezuela very, very quickly. I think that was always the intention. And as I said last night, breaking news, the BBC now reporting that after seizing that tanker off Venezuela, U.S. has sanctioned 6 more ships, meaning that it wasn't an isolated incident. This is a full scale crackdown on Venezuela's oil network, and Caracas is calling it outright piracy. So I am sure that, like, as of now, as of today, the probably news cycle on this is going nuts.
Hmm.
And I don't know, man. It just comes back to, for me, the story to me is about transparency again. See, I just see
There's
like
no transparency, that's for
right. Our
sure.
governments are run by really old people that still haven't caught up with the fact that we are now in the age of awareness. We have all this independent media that we are just, that millions of people are getting a lot of facts from, while tens of thousands of people are still on legacy media where it's propaganda, controlled propaganda.
That
And the
is true.
politicians are all like not up to speed on this. And so, I mean, we have, for all of history, controlled our politics via the propaganda that is put out there. It's not working today. Hence the Epstein files. I think the Epstein files is pulling at a thread that is, and look, the Trump administration ran on the Epstein files.
They
They
did.
get close to disclosing them, and some power, some undisclosed power told them it's not, no, do an about face on that. And they all
Right.
obeyed. So it must be a very powerful power. I think Mossad is probably in the lead of that. Little tiny Israel's CIA version is called Mossad. And I think that there's other world powers that are connected here. But at the end of the day, this started out as a giant porn ring. And I think it had the tendrils dig a lot deeper into the core of our world politics than just that. That's my
Yeah, man, you
guess.
said a mouthful right there because I can't disagree with you on any of that. I think there are very, very serious considerations when you look at both of these things, the thing that's happening in Venezuela and also with
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein. There is a we have to look at this story as we're seeing the surface story in the news, but there's a lot underneath. I found interesting too when I saw that this Venezuelan oil tanker had been commandeered by the United States. And you sent me a Jimmy Dore podcast that I listened to that I thought was super interesting. And they were talking about Venezuela. Did you get to that part?
Probably. Tell me more.
They were talking about how Absolutely no fentanyl is coming from Venezuela
Sure.
into the United States. And so this has been the line is, oh, they're bringing fentanyl in
Hmm.
here and it's killing all of these
All of a
people.
sudden. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
never
so
heard of fentanyl coming from anywhere but Mexico
well,
via China. Now,
that's
all of a
exactly
sudden.
right. And this is what Jimmy Dore. Are you there?
Yeah,
Got shut
but
down for a second. Uh,
I heard a little blip, but go
That
ahead.
was weird. But that's what Jimmy Dore was talking about is that we all know that. So what is the deal? We do know that cocaine comes from Venezuela. That's been
Yeah,
a long
but you're
time
not going to put a dent in anything by blowing up some
by
cocaine
blowing up
boats.
ships. So there's something else that's going
Hmm.
on here. And Jimmy pointed that out. I thought it was really good. And he went right to the oil. It's oil. I mean, he almost put a big next to it, oil.
Yes, of
But
course.
so saying you've been saying that for a long time too, and that it's absolutely the truth. But I was surprised that Jimmy didn't go one layer below that,
Mm.
which the oil is it's actually an international jewel
Hmm.
that not only does the United States want that oil, but all of our enemies want that oil as
China
well.
was getting a little too solidified there,
So
is
I
what
really
I
think that
understand.
when you take a look at some of the things that have happened over the Trump administration, like for instance, what we saw in the Middle East with all of these big deals that were made with people, with countries that may or may not be our ally, like Qatar. When we take a look at everything that happened in Iran and everything that happened with Hezbollah, Hamas in the Middle East, on the other side of that coin, China is there as well, and so is Russia. And so we're playing an international game of chess here. And if you go back to like World War II, for example, we had a oil embargo on Japan. And Japan ended up invading several countries in order to commandeer their oil. And it actually escalated into World War II, where we got bombed at Pearl Harbor. It's sort of the same stakes are here, is that whoever controls the energy controls the world.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And so
Hmm.
it's a high stakes game of international intrigue, right? And
It is.
these boats, I don't know what is in those boats. Somehow these people are getting they're in the crosshairs literally of this whole thing. And here's one other thing. I heard that a political icon from Venezuela somehow got into a boat and escaped, and now they're in Europe. And I thought, I wonder why that boat didn't get blown up.
I didn't hear about that. You know, but all of this does make, we're talking about the transparency and non-transparency of it all and all that. You know, and when I think about it, I always come back to the line, Jack Nicholson's famous line in A Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth.
Ah,
And when it comes
that
to
is
the military and intelligence, dude, there's no way around that one. Now, because
right.
whatever they're doing, whatever a military ever does, it could literally be, sometimes it's going to be in the best interest for society as a whole, even when perhaps thousands of people, innocent people, die. It's a horrible
That's right.
thing to
It is a
verbalize.
terrible thing. You're right. And Trump
In
actually
other
said this.
times, I got to say this though, I'm sorry, you go right back
It's
to
okay.
that. But I have to balance it with, and other times, it's just hundreds of thousands of people dying for some greedy reason.
That's exactly right. And it's like before it happens, you can't really tell. Trump, when he was running for president the first time, he was being asked what his foreign policy would be. And there were certain areas that he said, I'm not going to tell you that. Yeah, well,
Hmm.
why won't you talk about that? And he's like, because that would be giving valuable, that's giving my playbook to the enemy. Why would I do that? But you see that happen so many times with presidents. Like, for instance, when Biden said that he was going to pull out the Afghan troops on a certain date, well, what happened? Several of them got blown up
Yeah.
because they knew what was going. He telegraphed his playbook,
Yeah.
and here we find ourselves in a catch 22. It's damned
Oh,
if
it
you do,
is.
damned if you don't,
Yes.
right?
In
And
an
so,
age
what
of
in the world?
awareness, right.
We know that there is this great power struggle that's happening in the world right now. We've been living through it, especially in the last 5 years. that has been happening. So this has something to do with it. We just don't know all the details right now,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
almost maddening.
Well, yeah, and but then there's the war crimes. Giver, and you could debate whether they're war crimes or not, but we're traipsing along those lines, and that's disturbing. So I don't know what to make of it either, but I just left it with what I just said. Is that it's even like talking about the CIA. I think you and I both would just be like, just dismantle them and do away with them. And frankly, about four other adjacent agencies that we've created in secrecy as well. But on the other hand, we 100% need intelligence that none of the rest of us
Absolutely,
have.
we do. And the problem with intelligence is the secretive nature of it causes us to, it's almost like
Gives you a
an
shield to do all kinds of
affront.
crappy
Well,
stuff.
it's an affront to our constitutional government, right?
Yeah,
Where
good
it's
point.
like we the people run this country, yet we the people aren't allowed to know what's going on with this
Right.
agency.
What do you
Um,
do there?
and we don't have any control over that. This is I don't know what you do
I
about
know,
that there.
same
That is
here.
a really interesting thing. And here's the other thing, you brought up Mossad. Is Mossad and the CIA, are they related? Are they the
Intricate,
same thing? Are they
dude. I
run
gotta
by
tell
the
you this.
same people?
I got to tell you this very, very quickly. There's some guy, I never remember his name, of course, that I've heard on a couple different podcasts, like Tucker Carlson and Glenn Greenwald. If certainly Tucker and another one, at least like that. Same guy. Ex CIA talking about the relationship with Mossad. He's like, Mossad is way above the CIA. He
Hmm.
goes, we are not allowed to spy on Israel, but Israel, we catch them, Mossad spying on us, and we say, hey, you can't do that. They go, oh, okay, you're right. And they go right back to it. He goes, when we go over to Israel for something, come back to our hotel rooms and furniture will be rearranged. Or they take a dump in our toilets. One time
Wow, there's a sign.
a dog's tail was cut off and bandaged up and the dog was whimpering. All these things
Oh my
to
God, how
let you know
horrible.
who's boss, who's
Yeah,
in control,
yeah.
just to
That
mess with
is
you. So that's something. I think Mossad, the more I hear and put together, the more I think, as I said about the Epstein stuff, I think it's just pulling at a string that will all unravel and of things that have been going on for a long time we are not supposed to know about. And I think our government of elected officials are way more powerless than we think they are. They are not in control. We got so many three-letter agencies that are intertwined. It's hard to even say where a true government ends and another one begins because I think that they're complicit in things together. The United States and Israel is still a mystery that is being divulged on a daily basis. All of these
you're
independent
right.
podcasters and journalists, real journalists that actually do real journalism and are bringing more and more facts is like, whoa, man. Tucker Carlson's leading a pack on this one too.
Now
What the
you
hell
brought
is
up
going on with Israel in the United
okay,
States?
and you brought up Bari Weiss. I brought up
Oh, I
Bari Weiss,
forgot.
but
Yes.
you brought up the fact that she is an Israeli plant. And I was
For
about to
sure.
tell you about CBS because there's all these articles out here now that are
Got to make
saying,
it quick.
"Hey, you gotta start watching CBS because Bari Weiss is there, and she's
Ha! That's
actually
funny.
bringing stuff that people others aren't bringing. Like
It's
for
never going to
instance."
work.
You've got this whole thing in here about the Somalian situation that's happening in Minnesota, and she's
Oh,
bringing the
right,
facts
right.
where others aren't, and she's also bringing Erica Kirk, who they just did an hour-long interview. It's going to be tomorrow. You're going to be able to see that interview where it's just wide open. They just blow this thing apparently wide open. I've seen a couple of clips, and
One of
so.
these days, I'd like to talk about that mess too.
Yeah, we're going to, but right now everything's so murky that it's probably best that we wait until all of the craziness dies down before we put our foot in our mouth on this whole thing. But
Yeah.
these people are on the front end. But is this a ruse, Barry? Is this like more propaganda?
Well, Bari Weiss, I'm going to forget the particulars, but I've heard this by every independent journalist, is she's just 100% pro-Israel. She had a blog, Freedom blog or something
Yeah.
like that.
Paramount bought it for like some
What,
ungodly amount. That's
150 million dollars?
yeah, that's
And
how
it
she
was just
became the
a
head of
not
CBS
so
News.
popular blog. It wasn't. She did have a lot of other so-called independent people writing on there, but it was
Right?
not a thing. I mean, they tried and tried. It was not a big thing, but
I
CBS.
never even heard about it until recently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So CBS, God, what are the connections? There's like major connections, and I'm sure that is it Peter Ellis? I'm pretty sure that's his name. The CEO of Oracle. That is a huge
Larry Ellison.
Larry Ellison. Correct. Sorry, Peter Ellis, whoever you are. Larry Ellison and his son David.
Scary. They're scary,
Big,
man.
big into Israel and
Oh, well,
the
let me
lobbying.
stop you right there
Mhm.
because I just heard on a podcast earlier this week. I got to verify this, but at one point, Larry Ellison had considered selling Oracle to the CIA.
Oh,
Okay? So there's your connection. He's very much tied into Israel, and Larry Ellison is, and the Israeli government. He's very much tied into this whole digital ID and also
mhm.
central bank digital currency. He's going to be the one in control of TikTok.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is
They
this is
just
it. And David, his son,
Netanyahu expressed that was the number one thing that they needed to do is get control of TikTok.
and Netanyahu acted like he was buying it. And
Yeah,
here
yeah.
it's
Oh,
Larry. He was like, "Well, we
just
bought it," and
quickly,
it's like he corrected that.
Ellison also offered Netanyahu a spot on the board of directors when he
What?
was in between leadership positions. Uh huh, for sure. That's
Okay, so
verifiable.
this is something. And David, he's about to buy CNN.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Who
like to
cares?
talk
All of
about
that
this,
stuff's a failure.
but these are propaganda
Tools.
mechanisms
Yes.
that have been used to destroy this country, and now this person trumpeting these things that are biblical. These are in the Bible. Like these
Mm.
are catastrophes of potential catastrophes of biblical proportion. And here this guy is saying all these things, and he's going to be in charge of TikTok and CNN. That's
Yeah,
crazy, right there.
right, right. The only thing that scares me at all there is TikTok, of course.
With the algorithms,
Those other ones, there's that, but it's the getting a hold of young people's brains is my
right?
point. Because
Everybody's got a
nobody,
phone.
nobody under 60 or 70 is going to CBS or CNN or anything like that. But the TikTok thing is very scary, and I've heard from like Glenn Greenwald and others, meaning trusted sources, that Israel has been paying like $4,000 to $7,000 per pro-Israel post to influencers on TikTok.
Oh man, I could be
Dude,
tearing up right now.
jeez. So we
Every
do
like
have
with
to.
this like free money is happening out there for people that are plugged into this nefarious scheme. It is really something, man. Yeah, and I want to at some point I would like to dig into this whole thing about Zionism.
Uh-huh.
What is Zionism? I don't think people actually know what
Can
it
I
is.
just give you, you can confirm this because people seem to be confused on this. As I recall, and I should have looked this up, I didn't know you were going to bring it up, but as I recall, because I looked it up months and months ago, that it started in the late 1800s. There were
Correct.
pogroms going on, which were
That's
not
right.
pogroms. That's
Yep.
where Jewish people are beaten
Murdered.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
murdered even, and there was a lot of anti-Semitism going on across Europe, across the world, really, anywhere Jewish people were found. And somebody, I don't remember who in the late 1800s, came up with this Zionism thing about the Jewish
Herzl.
people need.
Mhm.
Say again.
His last name is Herzl.
Okay, well, they needed their own Jewish state for safety reasons. So Zionism literally just means you're pro-Jewish people get their own country.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That is the
It's confused
official
now, though.
definition of Zionism. However, here's the problem. I had a great discussion with a good friend of mine who has Jewish roots, and we were talking about this. And I was saying, well, okay, but the founder of Zionism claims to be an atheist, and so this was not a religious move. He's Jewish by race. So this conflation between the political movement and the religious movement, those are the two things. And Christians are caught in the middle of this because, of course, Christians want to support the Jewish Judaism, right? And Israel as far as that's concerned. But what about the politics, right? Like, does that mean that as a Christian, I have to support everything that the state of Israel stands for? And we've got people like the whole thing between Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson, where Tucker's like, but wait, you as a Christian, you're saying Israel first, but you're a senator taking an oath to the Constitution. That seems like that's out of order right there. And so he gets called an anti-Semite over that whole thing. And so now it's like we've got this whole thing going on between, okay, Zionism political and Zionism religious. Those seem to be two things that can seem to be one thing, and at most times they're at odds with each other.
Agreed, totally.
And the aspect is seemingly tearing apart the conservative movement here in the United States.
See, that's where it gets very interesting. And
to me too.
We're really late on this because
this is where we're gonna pick up that subject. I was just queuing that up as something we should be talking about because nobody wants to talk about it, and that's how this kind of thing thrives. We've got to drag it out into the light.
And as I always say, man, if you're being called a bigot, they're down to their last layer of defense.
They've already lost.
Right? Yeah, there you go. Got another prank video for you as we leave here. Go to over50startingover.com. Sign up and get this to your email list as it happens. And Mark is coming up. Oh, it's going to be on Rumble too. We're going to please subscribe to Rumble. Nice. And Mark's AI tip is coming up next. Let's take a quick look at some more pranks.
That poor kid. Look at the dog. Oh my gosh. No, man. Okay, this is just wrong.
Watch.
That is wrong.
Watch.
Poor woman, she can't get out.
That old
Its faces they're making.
I know.
So horrible.
That's terrible. So diabolical right there.
That is terrible that you would do that to somebody. She just peed. Oh my God.
Look at that. Oh my God. Did you see?
She passed out right
there. She had a seizure. Oh, that's creepy.
These are terrible.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh! We saw this one before. That's really a good one, though.
Okay, that is.
Look at that.
God, that is.
That is terrifying. Yeah. That's funny.
No, that is. Wow. I'm surprised she didn't choke on her toothpaste right there.
You know, this could be so dangerous for older people. God, those are funny, man. Those are so funny.
My brother one time when remember that house I lived on in 228 College Avenue, and I was washing the dishes one time, and we had that window right in front of and I was just mindlessly washing dishes. Scott snuck around and got in that window and went,
it's so funny.
I like threw dishes, and then I was so mad. I darted out of there like, I'm gonna get you. Like, chased him halfway down the street.
That's so funny. All right,
he knew, but the funny thing was, as soon as he saw me get mad, he ran immediately. So
I bet. Brothers, so fun.
So it was fun.
Have a good weekend.
Great show, man.
Yes.
Good talking.
Well, hello there, over 50 friends. Mark Dennett back with you with your AI tip of the week. This week, using AI for research and information gathering. Research and information gathering. A lot of us find that agonizing. I know I do sometimes. You know, where to go, where to find the information. You do a typical Google search and you're just wading through treasure troves of nothingness. But AI can make that practically seamless now because there's an ocean of data out there and information just waiting to be gathered. And AI is your tool to do that, to retrieve those precise samples of data and bring them back to you labeled properly in the way that you want it. So with some brainstorming and some help of the AI, I came up with a 3-step research methodology. It's called CEO. C stands for context, you know, the focus and tone and complexity of the prompt. E, extracting that information in the prompt. And the output, it turns that raw data into however you want it, whatever format, 3 paragraphs, create a table of information, list and bullet points, those types of things. And you'll see that here in just a second. So we're going to apply this CEO method to a competitive review for work, for the professional side of things. So here is my prompt. And again, this is maybe where you want to stop the video. If you're listening to the podcast, watch the video, stop it right here, take a screenshot of the prompt and feed it to the AI and have them print it out for you. And then make these prompts your own because you have to fill in some of the information here. So here's the first prompt. Act as an experienced marketing director for your company. I need to understand my main competitor, whoever that is, find the competitor, research the competitor, and create a 3-column table comparing their price structure, key customer testimonials, and main software features against ours. Based on that table, draft a short internal memo to our sales team highlighting the 2 biggest competitive weaknesses of whoever that competitor is that they should use in their next sales calls. So the AI had to think about this a little bit, but look at this. It came up with a fantastic output. Philips is who I work for, Philips Healthcare. Siemens Healthcare is one of our direct competitors. So that's who I plugged in here. And it gives you the Philips versus Siemens Healthcare software and commercial comparisons. There's a price structure and commercial model. It has the Philips side, the Siemens side, key customer testimonials that are public out there from both companies. And then it even wrote that internal memo. Pretty good stuff. And that wasn't bad for the first prompt. Let's go to our second prompt. This is more on the personal side. So let's use the CEO methodology for health research for you. So here's the prompt. I am a person over 50 in pretty good health and active, but my blood pressure is a little high. Please explain the concept of managing hypertension in the simplest non-medical terms possible. What are the 5 most actionable non-prescription lifestyle changes I can start today that may positively impact the risk factors of slightly higher blood pressure? Format those steps into a simple 2-week daily checklist using only yes, no boxes for tracking. So ran this through ChatGPT and look at that, the 5 most actionable lifestyle steps. It talks about managing hypertension in non-medical terms that anybody can understand. And then we have our 2-week hypertension daily friendly checklist. And for week 1 and week 2, and the different tips it gives you for throughout the day, along with those check boxes as well. Not bad. So to wrap this up, CEO, it is your method and your blueprint for information gathering. Just don't ask AI a question. We want you to talk to it, but we want you to set the stage. We want you to tell AI what you want and how you want it. Tell it to find the right information and organize it for your purpose. Now it's your turn. So go ahead and practice the CEO methodology. Select one research task, structure your prompt using all 3 steps of the methodology, and then save your most successful prompts to your prompt library. You still have a prompt library, don't you? Don't forget about that. And I want to know what you come up with. Email me at mark@marktenet.net. I'd love to hear from you, and I read and answer all of my email. And let's connect on the socials. LinkedIn is probably the best place for me. I am Mark E. Tennant on LinkedIn. Until next time, practice that methodology, keep prompting, keep using AI, and take care.